Timothy was a young bunny with a passionate love for theatre. He was always hopping around, dreaming of the day he could perform in front of a big audience. That day finally came. It was the opening night of the school play, and Timothy had landed the role of a doctor. He had spent countless hours rehearsing his lines in front of the mirror and even practiced with his friends in the meadow. But as the time drew near, his little bunny heart began to pound like a drum. The curtains were about to rise. "It's time for the show," said Mrs. Owl, the wise director of the play. Timothy took a deep breath, adjusted his little doctor's coat, and stepped onto the stage. His paws felt like jelly, and he could hear his heart thumping in his ears. As the spotlight moved to him, he looked out at the audience. He saw rows and rows of faces, all staring at him eagerly. Mrs. Duck and her ducklings, Mr. Fox with his foxy children, even Granny Tortoise had come to watch. Timothy's whiskers twitched nervously. He opened his mouth to speak, but not a single word came out. His mind went completely blank, and he forgot all his lines. Panic swept over him like a wave. Unable to bear the weight of their expectant eyes, Timothy's legs betrayed him and he quickly hopped backstage, tears welling up in his eyes. Mrs. Owl fluttered over to him. There, Timothy," she said soothingly. "Every actor has stage fright at some point. It's okay to be nervous." Timothy sniffled, wiping his eyes with his paw. "But I forgot all my lines," he squeaked. "What will I do?" Mrs. Owl put a gentle wing around him. "You can go back out there and just be yourself. Remember, the audience is here to support you. They want you to succeed just as much as you do." Timothy took a deep breath and nodded. He peeked through the curtain and saw the audience chatting amongst themselves, waiting patiently. With renewed determination, he dusted off his doctor's coat and hopped back on stage. This time, he focused on the story he was telling and not on the faces in the crowd. He took another deep breath and started to improvise his lines. The words began to flow, and soon he was back in character, saving the day as Dr. Timothy. The audience was enchanted and erupted into applause. He had done it. Timothy's heart swelled with pride and joy. He had faced his fears and triumphed. As he took a bow, he caught sight of Mrs. Owl, who gave him a proud nod. From then on, Timothy knew that no matter how nervous he felt, he had the courage to shine. And that night, as he hopped home under the twinkling stars, he felt like the bravest bunny in the world.